Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at TechTrader.com. It's Thursday, the 3rd of January. These are the charts of the day. Well, another ugly day on Wall Street as the bear trend continues. I'm not going to look at the indices just yet, but I really feel like we're not going directly lower. We're going to probably back and fill and maybe do a wave 4 consolidation before the final wave. Or if they just want to get there, they can get there as quickly as they want. But for me, I'm looking at some longs and some shorts tonight. And always good to see. And what's really interesting is a lot of biotechs, particularly the juniors, are moving very nicely today in the last day or two. Look at ADIL. In the last month, 5 weeks, popped, pulled back orderly, popped, wedged, popped and pulled back orderly in a falling wedge for 3 days, and then broke out yesterday. Today was a follow-through day. Now, it didn't quite get through the high here at 745, reaching 718 today, but that 720.45 is on its resistance. When we get through that, we might see 12 bucks. This is something to keep an eye on. Tremendous momentum, but what I notice is missing. The last couple moves up came on less volume than we had in here, so you got to be careful with that. AGEN, another junior biotech with a base, popped out and pulled back, held, and then ran right back up again. We can get this one above 295. This could be a 3.5 and then 4 3/4 type stock up here. Those are my targets on this one. If this base breaks out and it falls through. ASNS is another. You may remember when this popped and pulled back and formed the wedge right here, I gave you a swing on it, thinking it was going to go up to about 8 or 7.5 anyway. Instead, the market pulled it down and formed the falling wedge. Held to 50. Nice pop today. Up 33%, 962,000 shares. Pretty good technicals during this whole pullback, wouldn't you say? My target now has to be a retest of the highs at just under 5. Yeah, 490 thereabout. And then we're looking at 7.5. We'll see if we get there. BTAI, big pop last week. Consolidation for 3 days, exploded today. I got up to resistance and backed off, but I have to like the 44% gain on 1.9 million. Second biggest volume ever in the stock that I can see, or maybe the third since the IPO day. But here's the bottom line though. If this thing gets above there, my target is 7, 7.25 next. JNUG, looks like gold is finally making its major move. This is a breakout out of a base on JNUG. Now the long-term declining tops line will be tested as early as tomorrow, in my opinion, up around 10.85.95. If we get up there and back off, that would be normal. If we blow through it, we can see 11 3/4. Sister stock JNUG looks the same. Excuse me, Nugget looks the same. The wedge that just formed broke out today with a pop of $1.09 or 6.3% on 12 million. Your target is about 21 and then 23 if this thing continues. Little LCI, yet another biotech stock that I put out as a swing here, also drifted lower during the market pullback. Held support along that line and created a new trend line, a channel up, and it's been moving up steadily today, breaking out across the declining tops line. Now there's a big gap here, and there's a double top there at about 648. This is 648, and that's 645. We get to the 648.50 range, we could see $8 pretty quickly. MOGU, MOGU, well, looking at it on an hourly basis the best way. You can see the pop out of the IPO, coil, breakout, falling wedge. If wave 5 comes in, and it may already have started with wave 1 and 2, this looks like a little consolidation coil right there, or a pennant, whatever you want to call it. Keep an eye on MOGU going forward. If it pops here, we should retest the highs when we may get to 28. OSIR, another biotech acting great, making new highs here. Look at this. This is the highest in 3 years, going on 4 on Osiris. Right now, it made a new high today, and this thing may very well reach 18 and then 22.5, my targets. A look at the Ultra VIX ETFs. Well, you can see a 1, 2, 3-wave corrective, and then a run up and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the pullback from lateral price resistance at the top of the channel, the short-term channel, augurs best for a pullback. But if we get one more wave down in the market, with this having pulled back for a week or so and consolidating, this could explode into the 110, 12 range or more. Keep an eye on it with a stop underneath 66. And the UVXY similarly with a 1, 2, 3, 4. If we got wave 5, we may see this get up to 109.10 range or better. And finally, VCYT, another biotech acting great, broke through the declining tops line with a pop today of $1.09 or 9%. And the volume picked up too. This looks pretty interesting. If we can get up through, say, the 1365 area as early as tomorrow, we may get a test quickly at 15.5. Ultimately, my swing targets, 18.19. Now look at some boxer shorts that are performing. AAXN, another bear flag or a bear wedge. Or yeah, it looks like a bear flag. And it's a tight one. And it usually means bearish. It usually means lower. So the bottom line is the next target is about 36.5. CRISPR snapped back to resistance. If it rolls over, and it began to today, down $1.85 or 6%. It targets down about 20. CVNA also failed from a wedge in the last couple days and may be headed lower. This looks like a bear wedge if I've ever seen one. Right there. It fell out of it today with increasing volume and lousy technicals. That's what you want to see for a short. Targeting 25. Grubhub in a distinct downtrend after breaking away from its trend line with a major breakdown wedge, another rising test of the trend line and a rollover. Looks to me like this one's headed to, I would have to say, 56, 58 zone. A long way from here. IIN Tech Trader swing with the head and shoulder top and a breakdown there. We went short around 48.9. It's come down quite a bit, and it's also bear flagged there and bear flagged again. I wouldn't be surprised to see at some point this make it all the way down towards here in the 17-18 range eventually. Intuitive Surgical got smashed for 1579 or 3.4%, coming off the snapback from the internal trend, from the major trend line. That's the kiss back. And the rollover could take you down to 425, and if it gets really ugly, 395.4. MED also looking bad. This stock had 4 or 5 days of consolidation, starting to roll over down 432 today. There is some support at the gap in here, but it may very well fill that gap, and that would have to take it down to about 100, 102 for 20 more points down. NEWR is rolling over as well after running up to the moving averages, it's backing off. There's a double bottom and target around 70, 71. We break that, look out below, 63. NVRO in a distinct downtrend has been since it broke down with a breakaway gap and then had a three-wave corrective rising flag to the moving average, which then rolled over hard, bounced, another bear flag, rolled over hard, bear wedge. Doesn't look like this is done yet, does it? I wouldn't be shocked to see a test of 30 on this stock. PII, Tech Trader short swing as well. That wedge really broke hard, didn't it? From 101 all the way down to 70 real fast. And now rising back on low volume with terrible technicals. It feels lower to me. How far down? The long-term chart says, God forbid it breaks this level, it could just fall away. Could be interesting. PTC rolled over. This is the Tech Trader swing. Finally broke that wedge. Tested support and snapped back to the trend line and then rolled over. Today was down 375 or almost 4.6%. We got support here. We break that. We're headed to 68, perhaps. Visteon looks terrible. Another consolidation is breaking down. Boy, I don't know how far this can go down, but right there is a key level of support that might be broken, and we could see this in the mid-40s. Wix with a massive top and a breakdown. Today rolled over from a rising wedge, if you draw it this way. Looks to me that broke, didn't it? Right there. So down 549 or 6% with increasing volume and lousy technicals. I wouldn't be shocked to see at least a retest of 80, more likely in the mid-70s. And finally, WTW, a long-standing Tech Trader short swing from up here, has dropped precipitously from 100 to 36 and doesn't look done, quite frankly. For me, the target's 32.5, 33. It might get down to the high 20s before it's over if we get a full-fledged wave 5 bear phase. And that's it for tonight. Be very careful out there. Good night, folks.